Hey, good morning, it's Owen Bigland. This is the Inside Edge video blog. Part 2 on my blog I did last month on the 2016 BC property assessment values. I always have to do 2 blogs on this. As we all know, in January when the assessed values come out every year, it is the hottest topic on people's minds in January every year. It's on the radio, on the newspapers, on TV, people talking about what the assessed values of their homes are and how much they've gone up in the past year. So I've always got to do a couple blogs because there's always a lot of misinformation out there regarding assessed values. So here's my second blog on this just to set the record straight for some people. Now, of course, it was all over the news. It was on the talk radio for several weeks. And I had to laugh. CKNW was running some phone-in shows, people calling in and talking about their assessed values. And I had to laugh on one of the shows. You know, people were handling these assessed values and opening them up like they were kryptonite or something. They were afraid to open them and see what their assessed values were. For some strange reason, you know, the price of their assessed value had gone way up, and that was a bad thing somehow. I mean, to me, I don't know. I've owned Vancouver real estate for over 25 years. I get a lot of assessments every year that pour in for all my principal residence as well as my investment properties. And I actually like it this year when your assessed values go up. It's a good thing. You know, I've had it the other way around where I've had assessments roll in like in 2012 and 2013 where my assessed values went down. I kind of prefer it this way, where I know that the assets I own are increasing in value. But of course, the reason that people were handling these things like kryptonite is they were all under the impression that if my assessed value of my home in Kerrisdale went up 40%, that means my property taxes are going to go up 40%. And it's simply not the case. The City of Vancouver will be adjusting what they call the mill rate down this year to reflect these big increases in the property values. Because think of it this way to keep it simple. For instance, in 2013, a lot of assessed values went down in 2012, 2013. But I'm assuring people that your property taxes didn't go down that year. Your property taxes never go down. They only go up, and your property taxes go up every year regardless of your assessed value. For the simple reason that the cost to run the City of Vancouver increases every year. The cost for the sanitation, the parks, the roads, the schools, all that goes up to at least inflation and then some. I think if you look at the breakdown for a city like Richmond or Vancouver, about a third or even 40% of the budget for these cities goes to one thing, and that's protective services, fire and police. The cost to run the police department and the fire department goes up every year. Therefore, your property taxes go up every year. But in a year like we had in 2015, where the values went up 30-40%, the City of Vancouver and Richmond will reduce the mill rate to compensate for that. Your taxes are still going to go up, they always do, but they're not going to go up to the same proportion that your house value did. So keep that in mind. So the other thing is the province has also raised that homeowner grant allowance. They bumped it up from 1.1 to 1.2. So if your house is assessed at under 1.2 million, you will get a homeowner's grant. The other final thing I want to people should keep in mind is that your assessed values are extremely low. They're conservative. If you have a detached home, let's say in East Vancouver, that's assessed at 1.4 million this year for 2016, I can tell you that the market value on that home is probably more like 1.7, 1.8, 1.9. I'm seeing homes that are assessed at 1.4 selling at 2.1, 2.2 because they keep these at a very conservative rate. They also don't take into account anything you've done to the actual structure inside. They don't take into account renovations. So the assessed values are extremely low. And the other thing is they're stale. The 2016 assessed values were compiled as of July 2014 through until July 2015. So they are already way out of date. And I can tell you that just in the last, people aren't going to like this, but in the last 6 to 7 weeks, I can tell you that a typical detached home in Richmond or East Vancouver is probably up another 8 to 10% just in the last 7 or 8 weeks. So these assessed values are already way out of date and they are ultra low. Again, if you've got an assessed value at say $1 million, chances are the market value of that home is more like 1.3, 1.4, maybe even more. I'm Owen Bigland. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.